Hey guys, welcome back to another video guys. In today's video we're going to be having a computer science recap / predictions type of video. So the exam is tomorrow for October, November. Whoever is sitting for that, if you're watching this video later on a date, still applies for you, but specifically right now maybe I'll be referring to October, November quite a lot because the exam is tomorrow. So today's video, what's the purpose of today's video? I'm hoping you have done enough past papers, you have gone over the notes, and you are here to do a final recap, a final summary of the entire syllabus so that you know what to focus on if you don't know right now. And it's just a quick recap for your brain to go over the different types of topics. Maybe if you haven't come across that in a past paper, this will be perfect for you. So I will give you the probability of how much that question can come. I'll give you the recap, what you need to particularly focus on within that topic, and so on and so forth. Now this document will be down in the description. Maybe if you don't have time to go over this entire video, I totally understand that. Maybe you just want to do personal revision, and I agree with that, but yeah, so the document will be down in the description. You can go over this video. I have no problem with that. So let's begin, and let's start off with topic by topic, and we're going to start off with the most common topic in almost every past paper, which is data representation. Now quickly I'll briefly talk about this topic. Now first of all, this is almost 99 to 100% of the times that it comes in the paper. Okay, mostly if you've seen my videos, it always comes. I always say this is free marks, so I'm even going to write it here so that you know that this is free marks. You do not panic when you see this type of question. Free marks, just need to know the different conversions. So let's go over the different conversions. So let's write here things to note, okay, and then I'll go over the different stuff that you need to know for this topic. Now conversions between the different number systems. So here we have an example I can give you is binary to denary. So how do you convert from binary to denary? You write 1, 2, 4, 8, all like that of stuff. Actually, I can even write it down here. Write 1, 2, 4, 8, this and construct denary number. Okay, and construct construct that denary number from your binary. Okay, so if it is 78, you write down the binary, write 1, 2, 4, 8 above each value, and you add the values to get your denary value. Okay, that is how you do it. So that is the conversions that you need to know. Another thing that you need to know for this October, November is you need to go over the different bases. Now remember, if I quickly go over each of the thing, remember binary is base 2, denary is base 10, and then hexadecimal is base 16. So I'm already hoping that you already know all of this stuff. Now for hexadecimal, you need to know the uses of hexadecimal. So I'm going to write it here, the uses of hexadecimal. So I'm going to give examples. We have memory dumps. We have memory dumps. We have for HTML, color codes, and then so on and so forth. Also for binary, for hexadecimal, why we use hexadecimal. The reason we use hexadecimal because it's more human friendly, easier to understand, less prone to make errors. You need to know all that type of stuff. So that's mainly about hexadecimal. Now within hexadecimal, you need to know about the MAC address. Okay, the MAC address. You need to know about the IP address. Between these two, you need to know the differences, characteristics. Okay, I want you to understand all of the characteristics. If you haven't gone over them, go over them. I'd suggest go over these notes. So for the MAC address, you need to know the number that it's assigned by the manufacturer, the IP address, so on and so forth. That is quite common, comes quite a lot, many of the times. So when I talk about data representation, this is what I am expecting is going to come, and there will be almost probability that this will come. Okay, so I want you to realize this. Do not take this lightly, especially these. They mostly come. So they mostly come. Okay, so that's why I want you to do. Now these secondary stuff can be tested. Okay, not always, but they can be tested. Okay, it's not a must that they are tested, but usually they are tested. Okay, but no guarantee for that, but go over them for the sake for this exam. Okay, so that is mainly about number systems. There's not a lot that you need to know about this. It's quite simple. Go over the different number systems, go over hexadecimal. You need to mainly focus on hexadecimal factors. Okay, so here with hexadecimal factors, you need to look at the uses of hexadecimal, reasons why we use hexa, and all stuff like that. Okay, that's the main two stuff that we need to know about it. Let's go over to the next topic. The next topic I'm going to talk about is, let's talk about storage. Now within storage, actually I'm going to use a highlighter, and even for data representation. Now storage, I think storage, there's chances of it coming, but you know, this one is it will either come in tick or cross type questions. Okay, now in these types of questions, note that usually there could be more than one, so you could tick more than one. Okay, then they could say in explain type ways, explain, example mp3 MIDI. You need to know the different stuff. You need to know that mp3 type of compression. You need to know which compression it uses. You need to know how it works. So you need to focus on all that type of stuff. How mp3 works, how MDI works. Another thing that you need to talk about, okay, that will later on, is about errors, but we'll come to that later. You need to look at the fact that we have image files. Okay, we have image files. Now image files, we have .jpeg, .png, stuff like that. Then we have the video files. Now for video files, we have .mp4, that's the main one. We have .mkv, but you don't need to know that. It's good to know a few more. Then we have sound files or audio files. We of course have .mp3, we have .wav. Those are just some examples that I'm quickly giving. So again, here can be asked whether to give an example of this. So next thing you need to know about these is understand way of compression for each. Okay, so here we will have lossy compression and lossless. Now these two topics right here, chances are high they come. Okay, chances are high that they appear. What do you need to know about them? Let's see. What you need to know about them. Okay, what do you need to know about them? Now for lossy and lossless, the stuff that you need to recognize first of all is the suitable. So they will give example of scenario. Okay, and you are supposed to suggest type of compression. Now, in any of these types of questions, if you want the data to be retrieved, you will use lossless. If you do not need the data, you will use lossy compression. Okay, the next thing they would ask is how compression is used, or how / describe the compression. So that one is pretty simple. It will identify repeated units, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. So understand that. Now let's talk about the next topic. Okay, the next topic that could come is, we're going to say, is data transmission. Okay, now here, this one, high chances of coming. High chances of coming. And the reason to this is because this question hasn't come in long. I haven't seen it in long. Okay, they do come. I know they have appeared. So here you want to know about simplex, duplex, you need to know about serial, parallel, also yeah, stuff like that. Within this, you need to know uses for USB. So here we want advantages, okay, sorry about that. So here you need to know about the disadvantages, disadvantages. So here would be the uses of the USB. Okay, the uses of the USB. Now, another thing you need to really focus on is the errors. Now, the purpose of this video is just trying to point out the stuff that you need to know for the various topics. Okay, just point out the stuff that you need to know about the various topics. That's the reason why I've made this video. You know, you can't for certain just say this topic will come, this topic won't come. I am giving a brief overview of this. So they could come, they might not come. Okay, now for errors, you need to know all the types of errors that can come. So we have checksum, we have ARQ. What else do we have? Checksum, ARQ, check digit, parity check. So I want you to go over these. So I'm going to even literally learn how they work. Usually if they come, they usually say, how does ARQ work? So here you would mention stuff about acknowledgements, timeouts. If it's check digit, mention that it says a calculation that is done. If it's party check, odd, even. So learn how they work. Errors, big topic, can come. Big topics, it can come. Okay, so I'm going to say it's a 70% chance of coming. Okay, it's 70% chance of coming. I'm going to write chance here, 70% chance coming. Okay, so it can come, may not come, go over them, go over all that type of stuff, right? Now, next thing you need to know, let's look at stuff like this. Okay, this part of security. Okay, security, so let's highlight this, security. So here you need to learn about. So here we have hacking, learn what is hacking, what is viruses, the difference between, let's say, phishing and farming. Okay, so go over those, difference between phishing, farming. Here we have hacking, viruses, spyware, know what is spyware, know what is malware. They can ask you how malware works, how viruses work, all type of stuff. Now, coming to the other part of it, when we go to the next part of the internet stuff, you need to know about how firewall works. Firewall, proxy server, similar uses, they almost work the same way. Now, the best way to revise all these types of stuff, best way to revise this is look at past paper marking schemes. Look at past paper marking schemes and cram it. Okay, I want you to cram it. If it's hacking, I want you to cram. If it's about fishing, farming, I want you to cram the marking points of each of the following. I know they say don't cram, but this type of subject you just need to cram. Okay, this type of stuff you need to cram. So focus on firewalls, proxy servers, go over all of that type of stuff and go over that. Now let's talk about the internet principles. Internet principles will come, it usually always comes in a one way or another form. So here we are talking about IP, ISP, we're talking about MAC, we could talk about HTML, HTTP. Look at the full forms. So learn the full forms / definitions. Learn the full forms / definitions. Okay, next thing you need to know: distinguish difference between HTML structure and presentation. So you need to know the definition. You also need to know the differences between these two. It usually always comes. So I want you to go over that type of stuff. Okay, so go over that. Talk about cookies. You know what cookies are. Talk about URL. They could come and stuff like that. So those are the stuff that will most likely come. Now this topic right here, 100% is gonna come. I'm gonna write it in black actually. Logic gates. Logic gates will come. Again, 99% to 100% chances to come. Okay, what do you need to know about this? We have the different gates. So we have the NOT gate, we have the AND gate, we have the OR gate. You need to know all these gates. You need to know how they all work. We have the NAND gate, which is the opposite of the AND gate. We have the OR gate, NOR gate, sorry. Then we have the XOR gate. Ooh, I drew that really bad. So OR and OR, oops, sorry, this is a NOT gate. NAND, NOR, and then XOR. So you need to know the gates and how used in circuits. Okay, here also look at you also look at truth tables. So go over truth tables and just simply practice. For logic gates, just practice. It's almost similar from one end to the other. Let's look at another topic. We have the fetch. What is this? We have the fetch, execute. So look at what PC is. Program counter, or actually that is right. Stored program concept. Look at what that is if you don't know what that is. Then you need to look at the different registers, the buses, functions of CPU. Go over all of that. Mainly that's about the fetch execute cycle. So the MAR, you need to know the order. So you know that is PC, MAR, MDR, CIR, blah 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 from the different addresses. So also a key point, you need to know whether the buses are unidirectional and directional. So go over that also. Go over all this will be found in your textbook. If you don't know a certain concept, go check it out in your concept. Usually they ask you whether the bus is unidirectional, directional. That type of question hasn't come in long. Could come. But I have a feeling this I'm going to write it in red. High chances of coming. High chances of coming. Could expect it in the exam. Yeah, so this type of could come. Now, another big topic and will 100% come is input devices. I know at this point I'm saying almost everything will come, but the ones I say will almost come, most likely wouldn't come, but we'll see. Now, input devices, I want you to cram MS for the describe input device questions. So where it says describe the role of a 3D printer, I want you to cram the MS of previous past papers. It's always usually the same. So look at the different stuff. Now in these input devices, we have keyboard, understand how a keyboard works, how a 3D printer works, how a QR scanner works. Okay, then we have the stuff like that. Then we have the digital cameras. You need to know what that is. Touch screen. Now here in touch screens, we have the different, sorry about the dog, anyway, but we have the different screens. So here we have capacitive, we have resistive, you need to look at that, and then we have infrared, isn't it? Infrared. So you need to look at the advantages in this and disadvantages. Now they can ask us to describe like one of the screens, so you need to also know how to understand that type of stuff. Now also look at output devices. So here we have, okay, now I know within input devices I mentioned 3D printer, so I'm going to remove it this. So output devices, here we'll have printer, and in printers we have inkjet. So know the difference between inkjet, know the laser printers, you need to know the differences. So here we have advantages and disadvantages. Okay, yeah, so on and so forth. You need to know about projectors. What else? Yeah, then LCD, go over LCD and LED. Again here, advantages. Most of these, just know the advantages and disadvantages for LED and LCD. Most of it you need to just remember the advantages, the disadvantages. Next thing you need to know is memory. Okay, now memory, here you need to know primary, secondary, and yeah, so primary and secondary. So in primary we have RAM and ROM. Secondary we have HDD, SSD. Again, learn differences. Sorry if I'm spelling it wrong. Differences and similarities for each of them. Learn the use. Learn ROM is ROM is for boot up, RAM is for currently in use. This moving parts, stuff like that. Learn all that type of factors. SSD is compact, light. HDD is robust, moving parts, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. Go over each of them. Also go over DVD, CD and Blu-ray. Go over all of these. Now DVD uses red laser. Go over that. Red laser. This is blue laser. That is one difference. But go over many of the differences. Go over how they work. So how they work. Go over how they work. So here we have pits and dumps, stuff like that. Okay, it goes in concentric tracks, circular motion, so on and so forth. So stuff like that. Go over also that. Hopefully security I've talked about. In security, look at damage, stuff like that. Look at SSL. Now again, in security I didn't talk about this, but talk about SSL and TLS. This could come because I haven't seen it in quite some time. So SSL, TLS, chances to come. This is chances to come. Learn about phishing, farming, ethics, the different type of ethics, freeware. Okay, yeah. Now in ethics we have. So you want to go over all of this. You want to go over free software. Go over free software, freeware, and shareware. So go over all of these freeware software. So again, you'll find all of this in the textbook, the differences between the two. So the differences, so go over the differences and all sorts of stuff like that. So I think that's all for paper 1. Okay, I'm even going to mention here that this is for paper 1. This is for paper 1. So let's have a quick topics that I've talked about will come. So topics with chances to come. So what have I said so far? First of all, data representation. Second, I've said logic gates. Next I've said is storage. So here we have compression. I think compressions will come. Next we have input devices, input and output devices. So here they will ask us to describe those types of describe a printer, those type of questions. They most likely will come. That type of questions usually always come. I think ethics will come. Ethics, so here we have free software, what we just talked about, and then shareware, all that. I think that will come. Chances of that coming. What else did I say? Yeah, I think memory could come. Things like memory would come. Memory, and now in memory we have RAM, ROM, and all that type of stuff to describe. Let's see, logic gates I've already said, that will come. Security I've said, advantages, disadvantages, errors, yeah, let's look at errors again. So we have 7, we have errors. So here we have types of errors, example, checksum, and all of that type of stuff. Yeah, so mainly those types of stuff. I think this is going to be my prediction. If you ask me what the types of questions are going to come, of course revise everything, go through everything. If you have any problem in a certain topic, there's always Instagram, my Instagram, hit me up in that. I'll try to respond as quick as I can. Of course we're in different time zones, but I'll try my best. If I'm awake, I will try to respond to all your questions. So yeah, look at these, go over the textbook. Your textbook is your best friend. Okay, your textbook is your best friend. Learn that. Your textbook is your best friend. It has everything in details. Look at the syllabus guide. Go over the syllabus guide for 2022. Don't check for the other ones. Don't learn unnecessary stuff. So most of the stuff I've said is in this syllabus guide. Okay, because that is ultimately what they will ask. Also, remember, I haven't talked about, like, they could ask about interrupts, buffers, you know, those types of stuff could come, and microprocessors. Actually, you know what? I think microprocessors will come. Microprocessors. So here they tell you, okay, there's this scenario. How do you do it? Now, I've made a video of this. I think there was once I did a last minute revision for paper 1. In that, I went over all of that type of stuff. So after this video, if you have time, go over that. Even that is sort of like a recap for all of this, but it's almost similar. So go over all of this, all of these topics. I'll link this document down in the description if you want the particular topics as a checklist or whatever. Go over the notes, the quick notes that I've made right now, and hoping that you know all of these types of stuff. So that marks the end of this video. If you have any questions, the comments will be of course open. Ask me, feel free to ask me through Instagram, through the comments, through I don't know what else, wherever you can reach me. I'll try to respond. So with that being said, good luck for your exams. It should be an easy test, fairly, because after COVID they've made these tests a bit easier, a bit more lenient, so don't worry about that. In terms of that, don't worry about grade boundaries. The problem is people worry too much about grade boundaries. Do your best, and then when your results come, you worry about grade boundaries. But right now you don't care about that. Right now, just give your best for this paper. So yeah, I think I've said all that I have to say, and then ultimately I'm not the one that gives you the marks. You're supposed to put in the work. you still have time. If you haven't touched your book, there's still time. You know, computer science is such a friendly subject. There is still time. Okay, go over millions of my videos I have on every type of topic. Go over the entire textbook, you know, walkthroughs, past papers. Another good thing I used to do is I used to do past papers the day before the exam, so that, you know, I'm familiar with the types of questions. And then lastly, I will do short notes. I'll go over my short notes. I'll go over the syllabus content. So what I want you to do is, if your exam is in the morning, I want you to go over the syllabus content and go over all the scenarios and ensure that you know everything. If you don't know something, go and look it up in your textbook. And then finally, don't stress. Actually, stress is one of the factors why someone can underperform. So it's not even that big of an exam. So think about it like just a class test. I know you can't, but you know, just give your best, try your best. You've revised enough. If you're well prepared, then you will find this test easy, because I know if you are well prepared, computer science is really easy. So go over all these topics I've mentioned, and then yeah, if you want any help, I will be active today at least, because there will be many people that will be revising. So hit me up through the different social media. So yeah, that marks the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Good luck for your exams. I know you will do well. So see you guys in the next video, maybe chemistry if you do that. And apart from that, well, I'll see you whenever I see you. Okay, see you.